Another week, another dollar. Today, I want to break down my Tradeify Live account, show you guys my stats for the month, for the week, where we're at. Are we profitable? Are we making money? Am I just talking shit here on YouTube? Well, lucky for you, we got proof. Check out the leaderboard updated last night. Patrick Whelan still number one. This guy really hasn't made much of a move, Meretta. But Sergey making a big jump. I think he made like 20 grand last night or the night before with the whole big drop. So we got some movement, but I'm still number one on the Tradeify top 10 live leaderboard. So out of the entire firm at Tradeify, BDH, Patrick Whelan, number one. Hey, we like to see it. We like to see it. Now, let's actually talk about some trading. Let's talk about results. Let's talk about some tips, some stuff that I've been working on, what I'm thinking, where I'm seeing, where you guys should be looking, and all that fun stuff. So one thing that I want to talk about really quickly before I dive into my actual results here is I talked about this yesterday, Friday. I talked about this live on YouTube, right? We had this big move at open. We break to the upside. We go from the 625s up there to the 800s. Now, when we did that big move up, I saw a lot of people get very bearish. And the further, like the more that we dipped, the more bearish that they got. Right? So it was like, okay, it's a pullback. Oh my God, it's a crash. The market's got to go all the way. It's just going to crash. And I'm like, hey, don't get too excited yet, because I want to point out something. The market loves to like push through levels and then pull back, test levels, and do that multiple times, which it pretty much ended up doing 3 times, there on Friday, testing that level. So if you're overly bearish and you're sitting there and you're like, man, I want to short, I want you to ask yourself a question, right? Before you take a trade, like we talked about before, is the market moving to a level? Is the market taking out a level? Are we at a previous area of support? So I want to avoid what? I want to avoid shorting into the low of this candle right here. If you go, let's go to the 1 minute chart. We go to the 1 minute chart. Now, I trade on the 1 minute chart with the 21 EMA on my chart here with Tradeivate. This is the platform that I use when I'm trading with Tradeify and other prop firms as well. And again, let's point this out, right? As we're pulling back here, where are we pulling back to? We're pulling back to this kind of like previous area of support. So once we pulled back to this previous area of support, that line, what is like most realistic? Like, what's the most realistic probability or the move to happen after we took out this level, right? After we took out that low, which would be like, this would be a higher low, in the bigger time frame. We took out that low. What happens normally? Well, we take it out. Either we're going to go straight down, or there's probably a better chance that we're going to pull back up, maybe build out a bear flag, maybe reverse and all that. So I saw a lot of people on Friday that when we broke here, we broke this level, they were like short. And I'm like, hey, hold on. There's previous support right here. There's a much higher chance that we're going to kind of swipe below that low, that previous support, and then kind of bounce back up. And that way, what? We're kind of like creating liquidity. We're taking out those stops there. Remember, if you're looking at the 1 minute chart and you're zoomed in like this and you're only looking at the 1 minute chart, before you take a trade, zoom out. So let's think about it. Like if I'm like this, okay, I'm looking at this chart and I'm like, okay, it's going to break to the downside. I'm going to short right here at the 625s. I'm going to short 625. We break this low. Oh man, we're going to go straight down. Right? And I see a lot of people that they kind of trade like that. They are so focused on that 1 minute chart. And guess what happens? They don't zoom out. Go to your 15-minute chart. You look at it, you're like, oh. When you look at the 15-minute chart, it doesn't look so good to get short right there. When you're only focused on that smaller time frame, you'll get caught up. You'll get chopped up. You're so focused on those little movements that you don't focus on what's the bigger movement. The bigger movement here, we push up, we take out some highs, we pull back, we take out that low, we reverse, we push up to the highs again. Kind of the same exact thing over here. We push to the highs, and then we pull back, we take out this low again. So it's the idea that, like, hey, if I'm taking a short here, have we already taken out that low? Have we, like, am I trying to get short at the bottom of this candle when I know that we already took out this low here on this candle? So we have, like, again, that's the 9:15 candle, the 9:30 candle. This is kind of that low, pulling back there, pushing back up, the wave. So it makes sense to avoid shorting after we take out this low there. Like I said, there's a higher chance that even if we go lower, that we're going to reverse somewhat. We're going to kind of push back up here somewhat because, again, those buyers are kind of sitting down there watching this support there. They're watching that support. They're waiting, and they see an opportunity. Remember, buyers want to buy low. Sellers want to sell high. So if I'm short, do I want to be shorting at the low of this candle? No. I want to be shorting. I probably wouldn't have shorted here. I didn't short, but, I want to be shorting when we're high for a pullback to the lows, not the other way around. Maybe like here. You can see the difference, right? This is kind of like that bear flag here. We break to the downside, bang. Like that, that's a clean move. You got a good target. That previous low here being your target from the 750s down there to the 650s. But again, once we get down to this level, do I want to continue shorting here below 629? Probably not. Probably a better chance that it's going to chop around, consolidate, support, blah, 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 like hold there. So it's all about bigger picture, focusing on the bigger picture. That's something that I've really been focused on here as well. And I think that's why I'm doing so well in my Tradeify account right now. And you can see that 15-minute kind of bear flag playing out here on the 1-minute chart as well. Remember, selling high, buying low when I'm shorting, right? I want to sell high, I want to buy low. And look how beautiful that trend was. Once you broke that trend there, whoop, straight down there to those lows again. So ask yourself, before you enter a trade, is there something going on? Like, is the market moving to a level? Are we chopping? Are we consolidating? Are we at resistance? Are we at support? Where is the market going? What is the overall trend? What's the action? What's popping? Right? That's what we need to be asking ourselves. Those 3 questions. And then we also need to be asking ourselves, if we're watching somebody on YouTube, are they profitable? Well, let's find out. Let's look. This last week for Patrick Whelan. Not my best week ever, to be honest. Not my best week ever. We had some red days. We had 2 red days last week. So we had a $6,000 red day. We had a $5,000 red day. And just how it goes. That was the... I don't think that's... What is that? Oh, that's last week. That's last week. This week. Let's do this week. All right, this week a little bit better. Because I was like, wait, I didn't have that many red days. And then I look and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't have any red days. No red days here in my Tradeify Live account last week. We made $11,000. That was the previous week. But we made $11,000 this week. Or, well, it's Saturday, so whatever week that is, we'll just call it. And we were hitting about 68%. The big focus here, like always, is what can I work on better? I think obviously we gotta work on those losing trades. We gotta focus on those losing trades. Gotta cut those off. Right now I'm kind of using the $5,000 max loss on the account as kind of like my stop loss, which that's why I'm kind of showing these larger losses, because I kind of get into a trade and it's like, it's either going to go green or I'm going to hit max loss. Probably not the best idea, but it's kind of working right now in the sense of like keeping that max loss right around $5,000. That way, it's like in line with my kind of like profitable days, having $6,000, $5,000 profit days, but then, getting max loss at $5,000. It's going to keep me alive. Like, I'm going to stay in the game, right? I'm going to be in the game. And you can see this week, pretty much just a bunch of green this week, looks like. Some red, which is funny because if you look here, the $10,000 loss for the week per time of day. This is kind of funny. If you look, that happens, that was at 11:30. So basically, like after 11 o'clock, it seems like I lose money maybe. This here is at 9:30. So the majority of my P&L this week happened between 9:30 and 10:30. And then the losses, or I guess the majority of the losses happened there at 11:30, which might have been a little funny action there either way. But at the end of the week, we walked away after fees and commissions, sitting there at about 11,000. And again, guys, this is all live. I'm showing you guys this as it's happening here. We're not doing any funny business. This is the previous week, kind of the same thing. Just got to work on the average losing trade. Again, like I said, it's kind of like I know what I'm doing wrong, kind of using that max loss on the account as my stop loss, which obviously is going to make my largest losing trades look a lot worse than my winning trades. But again, this is all that matters, right? On the month so far, we're up 20 grand. This is one account. It's a live account. No sim farming, no five account copy trading, none of that crazy crap. We're sitting around 73% right now for the month. We could definitely do better. I mean, my largest winning trade, 2,200. My largest losing trade, 2,800. Again, I can definitely work on that. I can be better. I could be better, right? But overall, so far for the month, we're pretty much just been grinding higher. We had a little bit of drawdown at the beginning of the month, but right now we're up about 24,000 there without the fees, and then up about 20,000, kind of right there. And then if you look here, so far on the year in this account, again, I don't know why every YouTuber doesn't show this, but you can see my live account. On the year right now, we're up 91,000. 91,000 gross P&L, 105. And yeah, I mean, it's just a battle. Looking a little bit better here, you know, on the year, and you look at the year so far. I started this account, I think in March, April. I started this account pretty much, or yeah, January, February, April. January, February, March. Wait, January, February, March. Yeah, March. I started this account pretty much at the end of March. And you can see like this has been kind of my equity curve, right? We started out with about 27 grand. We got it up to about 35, 40 grand. We then were about $26,000 there in drawdown. Yeah, $26,000 in drawdown there in April, May. Yeah, in April, we were $24,000 in the red, but then we grinded it back. We got it going again. So you can see the difference, right, of a professional trader versus an amateur trader who, you know, might go into drawdown and have trouble getting out of drawdown. But as you see here, well, we had no problem getting out of drawdown, baby. And P&L there so far in this account. Again, this is one account. It's a live account, Tradeify. I went through the straight to funding program. I'm working in the Tradeify live program now, and it's been great. We got a payout yesterday. I got my $40,000 payout after the profit split and all that. You can see here they transferred the money pretty much the same exact day. I made the request to withdraw. The money was in my account the same day. So if you guys want to learn more about Tradeify, use the code PW. They've got 33% off right now, and I don't know how long it's going to last for. So the straight to funded accounts is what I signed up for with Tradeify, and yeah, been pretty happy with it. The program's been working. Kind of been talking to the risk manager here and there, talking to Brett and those guys over there about, you know, what I can do better. You know, I think I really just got to let my winners run is probably the best thing that I need to focus on from here on out, right? Like, all right, we know that we can get those small winners consistently, but how can we really maximize, you know, maximizing the profit that we're making off of each trade? Because if I let my winners run, you're right, if I get those 10, 20, 30 more points per trade, well, then my losses are going to kind of fizzle away, and I'll be able to kind of really ramp up here a little faster. I took a $40,000 payout. I've currently got about $25,000 in equity left, and it's time to kind of it's time to grind, baby. It's time to get it in. I think there's going to be a lot of good action here coming up the week or so. We got wars, we got stuff going on around the world. Should be some volatility. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, subscribe button, you haven't tuned in for the 9 a.m. live streams, make sure you do. We have been dropping some absolute bombs of trades. So there it is, Tradeify live account, the proof that nobody else wants to show you. Are we the #1 trader on YouTube? I don't know, man. I don't know. Just go there and do the math. Bam! We're making money. Peace to the Middle East.